Hello, Geography. Hope you're doing well. We have reached the end of the semester and the school year. We are on our last lesson for World Geography. We have come a long way. We talked about really what is geography and makeups of geography as far as we have culture, physical features, different things of population and different nationalities and different things. So we've talked about a number of different things before we got into the continents and nations. We talked a lot about European countries and what about them. We talked about the U.S. We talked about a little bit about Canada. And what we're going to finish with today is this week, we are going to finish with Brazil in South America. Now, there's a number of countries and there's continents that we didn't get to. We just did not have the time or the makeup, with our circumstances changing, but we're still able to learn, what we can. And I'm going to finish this year off with Brazil in South America. Brazil is the 5th largest nation in the world and the 5th most populous. If you look at it on the map, it is a really big country. And that's crazy that that it's the 5th largest in the world. It has a great number of resources there. It was once ruled by Portugal. And that is why in Brazil they do not speak Spanish, they speak Portuguese. They speak Portuguese because Portugal once ruled and owned by them. Brazil is the largest Roman Catholic nation in the world. Imagine that. There's a lot of Roman Catholic nations in Europe, and Brazil is the largest one in the world. Now, however, there are some Protestants, non-Catholic, other Christian denominations and beliefs, churches there as well. In the 1500s, Portuguese settlers came to the area, and they built sugar plantations all along the east coast. In 2 years, São Vicente became the first colony and the oldest in Brazil. 2 years after this, Recife was made on the northeastern tip, nearest Europe. And then other settlements were made over the next few years and so on. Well, in 1822, Dom Pedro, he was the son of the Portuguese king, over in Portugal, but he was in Brazil. He was put in charge of Brazil, and he claimed it as an independent nation in 1822 and became its king. They were independent, but they were under a monarchy form of government. As far as it was not under like Portugal overrule, it was Brazil. It was its own nation. It was just ruled by a monarch. Well, for 66 years, Brazil had a monarchy with Pedro as its king and then his son Pedro II. Dom Pedro allowed thousands of Europeans to come to Brazil, and he freed black slaves in 1888. Now, this angered slave owners, not really necessarily only really because they didn't have slaves, but they did not receive any money for this, and they overthrew Pedro II and declared Brazil a republic like that of the U.S. And so they were able to be free and have a republic form of government. Now, there have been interruptions of this type of government in Brazil through dictatorships and military rule, but the main form of government is a republic, and that is what they have today. Brazil was the first country in South America to develop nuclear capability, and the one country from South America to send an army to World War II, to Europe in World War I and World War II. Some physical features of Brazil are the Brazilian highlands. They rise above the narrow coastal plain. What these highlands are a rugged plateau that completely cover the east side of the continent. They influence river drainage. Most waters flow down from the highlands of the Amazon River, and the Rio de la Plata. Paulo Afonso Falls is one of the world's most powerful falls. In the Amazon, it is on the equator. It is rainy all year, and it does, however, receive direct sunlight. So even though it rains a whole lot, it receives a lot of sunlight. In the south, a major city is Sao Paulo. It is the largest city in South America by area and fifth largest city in the world. The city includes a number of different ethnic populations such as Japanese, Germans, Arabs, and all of these ethnicities speak Portuguese. They do not speak their ethnic language. They speak Portuguese and have embraced the Brazilian culture. In Sao Paulo, the soil is very fertile, and they have tons of plantations there. Some plantations they have there are coffee, sugarcane, and cotton. All right, now back to the Amazon. The Amazon River is the greatest river system in the world. More water flows out of the Amazon than out of the next 10 largest rivers combined. So as far as water flowing from the Amazon, it has the most water than the 10 largest rivers combined. That's crazy. The Amazon is the longest river by some estimates, and it is covered by a steamy rainforest called the selva. The selva spreads over 1/3 of the continent and has tons of trees and exotic animals such as the anaconda, the largest snake in the world, toucans, parrots, jaguars, sloths, electric eels, and piranhas. And so that would be quite a safari you could go in there in that jungle. Well, excuse me, not jungle, rainforest. It's a rainforest. You want to be careful, though, especially when you get in water with those electric eels and piranhas. Woo, that would be scary if you saw one of them. There are remote natives that live in Brazil. They live deep in the forest of the selva, and they developed the invention of the hammock. Have you ever, laid in a hammock that, sits in between like two poles, and you just lay in it, and it's kind of like a swing that you lay in and sleep in? Well, they are the ones that developed that invention. The natives there, they hunt for food, and they eat vegetables and try to plant new ones as far as when they are able to plant new ones in the forest. They continue to do that, but then if it does not produce a crop, they move on and try to plant it somewhere else. They use blowguns to hit birds and monkeys. So it's where they have the stick, and you put the little dart in there, or the little kind of spear, I guess it is like a little needle type thing, and then they blow it, and it shoots out across, and is able to take out animals and stuff. And so maybe you've seen one of those, or maybe see in real life or on TV. But that is what they are, the ones that use it. Missionaries, as far as Christian missionaries, have come in contact with most tribes of the selva, and they have stopped cannibalism there. Praise the Lord. And some natives have become followers of Jesus. That's awesome, that they have stopped cannibalism and they have become followers of Jesus Christ. Praise the Lord. That is awesome. There are others that have not chosen to follow Jesus, and they participate in spirit worship. The capital of Brazil is Brasilia, and it was built in 1956, so really not too long ago that it's been around. It is a city that is doing well, that is hardworking, and continues to slowly develop and get bigger and more developed. And so that is just a little bit of Brazil, and there's a lot more that you can learn, that we can learn, and of course there's all the countries in South America that we can learn about as well. We just don't have the time to do that right now, but I hope you enjoy learning about this. And your assignment this week is answering some questions from this video, from what we have gone over. These questions are due Friday at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And this is your last assignment for the semester and for the year. So I hope you enjoy doing that. I just want to tell you thank you for your hard work, and that I enjoyed having you in class this year. We learned a lot about different things. We had our time where we were able to read together and go over notes and discuss different countries of the world and what's going on, how people are different, how they were established, and different physical features, different climates and cultures. And it was really interesting to learn about how different a lot of them are. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about this, and like I said, I enjoyed having you, and thank you for your hard work and cooperation. Parents and students, thank you both for your being flexible and adjusting during this unique time through online learning in this last 9 weeks. But thank you again for your hard work, and I enjoyed having you in class, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.